My daughter is studying law at the moment, and other day for some fun, we watched the movie Erin Brockovich. I don't know if you've seen that movie, but it's a true story about a single mum out on her luck, flat out on her luck. She's got 3 little kids, down to her last dollar in the bank, wondering how she's going to feed the kids. And she gets herself just a minimum wage paying job without benefits in a law firm, just doing secretary work, pushing papers. And she comes across this file, this case file of this corporate case that's been going on for a long time. And it's to do with this big power company and the effects that they're having on a couple of local communities near their power station. And what's happening is they've got bad business practices that are infecting the water of these communities, and it's causing people to get sick and to die, and they're losing finances and economy, and it's not going good. And so Erin Brockovich, she reads these files and she's like, this is not right. It's not fair. So she devotes her time and her efforts, and she works at working out what's going on with this case. And she goes and she individually meets every single one of the clients and the victims. And she ends up becoming the partner in one of the biggest lawsuits in American history. And she gets like millions of dollars payout and compensation for the victims of this travesty, this thing that's been happening. She's a one-bagger. She's a one-bagger who chose not to make excuses for what she has or doesn't have, and chose to do it for the benefit of others because her heart went out to the people that were suffering. So they have inspiring stories. Now, us two-baggers, we look and go, oh, that's not fair. They've got cool stories to tell. Or what about those ones? I mean, they married into that. And if my dad was the CEO, you know, I'd be having this, and if I married and if I got that chance, and we can look and try and compare ourselves. But that's not what we've got to do. We simply have to look at what we have. We look at our 2 bags and we say, what am I going to do to leverage this? And if you're a Christian, you're going to say, what am I going to do for the kingdom of God, for the benefit of the kingdom? And if you're not a Christian, you're going to say, what am I going to do to benefit others? What am I going to do to benefit others? Because yourself is too small to waste your entire life on. Yourself is too small. You don't read stories or watch movies made about people who spent their entire life looking after themselves. There's nothing inspiring about that. There's nothing to celebrate. There's no hero there. We have to look, as 2-bag people, we have to look at how big our piece of the pie is. What have we been given to work with? And we realise it's not ours to begin with. What are we going to do with it? What are you going to do? Are you going to look around and gripe and make excuses of what you don't have and what everyone else has? Or are you going to leverage it for the sake of something that is bigger than you? Something is bigger than you for others. You know, the most important verse in that parable is verse 19. It says, after a long time, the master of those servants returned and he settled accounts with them. He settled accounts. He said, what have you guys done with what I gave you? Basically, that's what he asked. What have you done with it? Now, if you're a Christian, if you believe in God, believe in his son, Jesus Christ, in that same way, I don't know how it's going to work, but in that same way, we are going to have to give an account for our life. What have we done with what God has given us? What have we done with it? Now, it could be awesome. It could be something awesome like depicted in the story. Double your money, double the effect, double the influence in your life. Or you could make excuses and bury it and do nothing with it. So here's the deal. We're all given some time. But they're uneven amounts of time. We're all given opportunity, but it's an uneven amount of opportunity. We can't fight that. To be a person that says, I'm taking responsibility for my life, is a person that says, I'm taking responsibility for the opportunity that I have been given, the piece of the pie that I've been served. I'm not going to take it for granted. I'm not going to make excuses. I'm not going to compare myself to everyone else. The bottom line is, to whom something has been given, something is required. Something's required. Am I taking responsibility for my life? Rarely. Am I rarely taking responsibility for my life?